Capital News tonight. President of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Mwinyi, inaugurates House of Representatives. Parliament completes swearing in of elected members of Parliament in Dodoma. And in sports, Tanzania winger Simon Msuva has joined Moroccan giants Wydad Casablanca for 4 years. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Nasma Mwambe. First, let's get started with the national news. The President of Zanzibar and the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has inaugurated the House of Representatives, whereby he pledged that the government he forms will have experienced, trustworthy and responsible executives.
Ifahamike kwamba uteuzi wa viongozi na watendaji katika serikali yangu.
Let it be known that nomination on leaders and attendance in my government, I will take into consideration one's ability professionally, hard work and loyalty. In building a new Zanzibar, one of my key promises to the people is to build a modern and a blue economy.
Visiwa vyetu havipanuki wala kuongezeka. Ndiyo kusema ardhi yetu inazidi kuwa finyu mwaka hadi mwaka.
Our islands do not expand nor increase, but our land continues to shrink year after year. What relief we've got is a large ocean area, so as Zanzibarians we've no choice but to make the sea our farm.
Fursa na ajira za Zanzibar mpya zilipo. Huu ndio msingi wa dhana nzima ya uchumi wa bluu.
Swearing in of elected members of Parliament of the 12th Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania has been completed, with the President, Dr. John Magufuli, expected to address Parliament on the direction of his government on Friday.
Mimi Damas Daniel Ndumbaro naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania
na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote, na kwamba nitaihifadhi, nitailinda,
kuitetea katiba ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyowekwa. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu unisaidie.
Na hili kwangu mimi naamini matarajio makubwa ya Tanzania wajue kwamba sisi vijana hatutakuwa tayari kupiga tu makofi ndani ya bunge.
Tanzanians must know that we the young people will not be ready to just clap in Parliament, meaning that we will say yes to everything.
Mimi nawashukuru wajumbe hawakuniangusha kwa sababu wamejua kazi kubwa ambayo nimeifanya.
Delegates did not let me down because they saw my contribution inside and outside the Parliament, but also in my region and constituent.
kwa maana ya kuweka dira ya serikali yake kwa miaka 5 inayokuja.
To show a compass for his government in the coming 5 years and implementation of policies, so it is a very important speech.
Hotuba hiyo ni muhimu. Anahutubia bunge, lakini kupitia sisi wabunge anakuwa analihutubia taifa.
A minor identified as Jumanne Rashidi, estimated to be 70 years old, has died after he was buried by mud and gravel after the mine he was digging in Msanga area, Kigoma Ujiji Municipal, collapsed.
Shuhudia mimi ni kwamba huyu mzee baada muda mchache baada kwa nimeongea naye.
I heard rocks falling, so as usual we raised the alarm, but when I called back to him, he did not respond. When we see there is a crack, we advise miners not to go in. Miners have to be extra careful during the rain season.
Sababu sisi tunafanya kazi hatuna vifaa vya kutukinga. Groups
we work without protective equipment such as helmet.
Tulichukua kwa sasa tumewasiliana na ndugu zetu wa jeshi la polisi wameturuhusu.
We've been granted permission to take the body to the hospital where further arrangements will be taken care of from there.
Tunawaasa wananchi katika kipindi hiki cha mvua kwa sababu kipindi cha mvua mara nyingi ardhi inaongezeka uzito.
Residents living along the border of Bagamoyo and Kinondoni in Mbweni Ward, who conduct various activities in the area, have complained on high charges for crossing River Mpiji on canals during this rainy period.
Ni kubwa kwa kweli. Kama mimi asubuhi nimetumia kama 5,000 kuja tu hapa kurudi, sasa hivi tena hapa nimetumia 2,500.
In the morning I spent 5,000 and this time round 2,500. When I came here this morning I had to go round. There was too much water.
Wanachukua boti huko naleta hapa, basi siku nyingine ndio hivyo 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 ikifika usiku mwisho saa ngapi.
This cry is for a very long time. I'm glad that our media houses, especially ITV, has come many times.
Mto ule huwa unapitisha maji mengi sana. Wakati mwingine hata Dar es Salaam kunakuwa hakuna mvua zinanyesha kwenye kanda za juu.
A lot of water pass through the river. At times there is no rain in Dar es Salaam, but in highland regions water ends up passing through this river.
Mengi mno, wasivuke basi wazunguke ili kuponya maisha yao.
Over 200 drivers and their aides, including those from Dangote Cement Factory in Dodoma, have been stranded for 7 days after failing to collect and deposit cement in warehouses due to network issues which have affected business operation in the cement industry.
Ili uweze kusafirisha kuja hapa depo, ule mtandao.
Network was down, so once you get here you cannot offload the cargo and sell to the customer because you must issue the customer with a receipt. Once we receive cement, we supply to customers.
Tuna tatizo hilo la utoaji wa cement.
We have a problem on cement distribution because of the network inside our factory. Dodoma has a lot of construction projects going on. All need cement, so it has been impacted so much.
Kwa tunajitahidi na tumekuwa tunawasiliana na wakubwa juu, wanatuambia fanyeni subira, muda wote inaweza kuwa tayari.
Some areas of Shinyanga have been facing the challenge of clean and safe water for 5 consecutive days, something caused by deterioration of water pipes, with residents urging the Water Authority in Shinyanga to resolve the problem.
Swala la maji kiukweli katika mtaa ambao mimi ninaishi maji imekuwa ni changamoto.
Water has been a challenge. From the 9th we've not had any. It is hard for street vendors. At least with the rains we've had some relief.
Wananchi wa manispaa ya Shinyanga ni lazima wafahamu kwamba tunafanya hivi kwa ajili ya uboreshaji wa huduma kwa wakazi wote.
Residents of Shinyanga municipality must understand that we've done this in order to improve the availability of water.
Kero zilikuwepo na tunazisikia, lakini nimekuwa nikiwasisitiza sana SHUWASA.
I've been insisting upon SHUWASA to give prior notice so that people know what the problem is.
Si masihara, lakini pia tulikwisha kubaliana.
The Higher Education Student Loans Board has set aside 464 billion shillings for loans to be issued to 145,000 students, with 47,000 first-year students to begin receiving 150 billion shillings, which has already been started to be distributed to those who have met the loan requirements.
Shall be announced, and money will be taken to universities, of which will be opened from the 23rd. So from now, all in first year, 47,000 who have been allocated loans, their money will be at the university.
Hii ni fursa kubwa sana kwa wanafunzi. Ni fursa kwa maana gani?
This is a big opportunity to students, meaning that the number of students who will be able to study at university will increase.
Kwa sababu takwimu zinaonyesha kwamba wanafunzi wengi walikuwa wanashindwa kwenda vyuo vikuu kwa sababu ya hali duni.
One power plant at Pangani and Hale Dam in Tanga region has failed to reach the goal to produce 8 megawatts after rains eroded sand that prevented water from going through the water gates.
The machinery power to pull in water carries sand which causes damage. Repair work is going on. We have enough experts on repair work, as you have been able to see that this is a modern station.
Mto Pangani una mamlaka yake.
The Pangani River has its own management. What could be a problem is that the authorities' first priority is on production through irrigation, and electricity generation comes second. This prevents TANESCO from planning by assessing the water level.
A day after the Ministry of Health said there is a need to review the cost of health care charged by the health insurance funds, some residents in Dar es Salaam have said that the fund has failed to reach more people due to various reasons, including high cost of joining the funds.
5 years ago, it was 250,000 per household. The cost of insurance is definitely high.
Bima ya afya kwa kweli na haijawa ghali kwa jinsi inavyosaidia watu, mimi nafikiri iko constant.
The cost of medical insurance, in my opinion, it has not gone up. It is constant.
Gharama, lakini ikitokea kiumwa naona bima yako, bima inakava. Kwa tunashauri watumie bima.
When one falls sick, medical insurance cover the medical bill, so we advise people to take out health insurance.
Kila kitu kinaenda sawa. Lakini kwa wale ambao hawana bima inakuwa ni shida.
And that is the end of the national news. International news comes next after the break. And in international news, Deputy President in Kenya, William Ruto, has said leaders must resist the temptation to build walls to shut out better ideas on the Building Bridges Initiative report. He was responding to ODM party leader Raila Odinga, who said there will be no fundamental changes to the BBI report.
To realize the dreams of the founding fathers of our nation.
I ask all leaders, the Constitution is not for us only as leaders. It should not be that a leader's opinion is most important, but rather everyone's opinion should be.
Wote, katiba sio yetu peke yetu kama viongozi.
To date, everything has been left in the papers and books where it was written. It must be discussed.
If it is a matter of politics, 2022 will come. Na uwanja iko wazi kwa kila mtu.
The race is open to everyone, but when it comes to BBI, we support it 100%.
Tuwakilishe wafugaji vilivyo katika haki yao.
The Minister of Health in Rwanda, Dr. Daniel Ngamije, and the Minister of Local Government, Shaka Anastase, have threatened to reimpose lockdown measures as citizens have failed to comply with the health regulations against COVID-19.
Statistics show that lockdown could be reimposed for 1 or 2 weeks. This is as a result of many people not taking seriously COVID-19 protective measures.
Wakipuuza kanuni za kujilinda na ugonjwa huo.
It seems that relief is in sight after positive news on COVID-19 vaccine that has been proven 90% effective at preventing coronavirus infection. Capital Television Vanessa Victor and correspondent with our media partner Deutsche Welle Thomas Sparrow have more on this special report.
COVID-19 has been a pandemic that has affected the world's health, social and economic structures for over 8 months now, with over 49 million confirmed cases and 1.2 million deaths, according to the World Health Organization. However, it seems that relief is in sight after positive news of a vaccine jointly developed by German company BioNTech and US firm Pfizer that has been proven 90% effective at preventing coronavirus infections. Joining us now is our correspondent with our media partner Deutsche Welle, Thomas Sparrow. So Thomas, tell us more about this vaccine and how it has been proven to be effective.
The announcement that the vaccine jointly developed by BioNTech and Pfizer has proven to be 90% effective at preventing the coronavirus, at least according to trials, has been described by German officials as encouraging, and it is certainly a very positive development. These drug makers are reportedly the first ones to show successful data from a large-scale clinical trial of a COVID-19 vaccine. The announcement, however, does not mean that the vaccine will be available very soon. Approval is still needed and widespread vaccination is still months away. In Germany, health officials have said a possible vaccine could be ready to go in the first 3 months of next year.
So how will it be provided to the public and where?
That is a very important question, because one thing is having the vaccine ready and another thing is making sure that people can access it, especially when authorities believe that between 55 and 65% of the population will need to be vaccinated in order to break the dynamic of the spread of the virus. There are ethical issues related to a potential vaccine program. There are legal issues. There are also practical issues. So a commission set up in Germany has announced that risk groups will be prioritized, then health workers, and then those in so-called relevant professions, like teachers or police officers.
And meanwhile, Thomas, Germany is still on lockdown. Is the situation improving at all?
It is still too early to say whether the partial lockdown is having a concrete effect on coronavirus cases here in Germany. Restrictions, after all, only started a week ago, but Germany has still continued to see record new daily coronavirus numbers, and there is concern about the situation in German hospitals. Although there are around 8,400 ICU beds reportedly still available nationwide, experts have warned that the situation in hospitals is even worse than in April during the first wave of the pandemic. The main concern is the speed at which the virus is spreading, and the main hope is that this situation will change as Germans remain mostly at home for the month of November.
Well, thank you again, Thomas, for that update. Until next time, talk to you soon.
It's the end of the international news. Business news comes next after the break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
And in business news, the Kesho Nut Board of Tanzania has said since the start of the 2020-2021 buying season, 5 auctions have been held whereby 101,000 tons of cashews worth 242 billion shillings have been sold.
Lakini pia katika wiki iliyopita kumekuwa na ongezeko la bei katika minada yote.
There was an increase in price in all auctions. Last week, we asked all buyers to use the same price.
Stakeholders from Tanzania Private Sector Foundation TPSF and the government have met to discuss on how to successfully implement the third 5-year development plan, particularly on issues concerning access to foreign markets.
Ambazo zimeendelea ulimwenguni. Imethibitika kwamba
a lot of developed economies have done so because of extensive value chain participation.
Mpango wa pili wa miaka 5
imekuwa ni lazima tufanye maandalizi mapema.
We had to do early arrangements so that the third phase expected to be implemented in year 2021-22 is completed.
Uwe umekamilika.
The Executive Secretary of Tanzania National Business Council, Dr. Godwill Wanga, has urged the business community to adhere to ethical leadership and to be ready to learn every day in order to be competitive in the domestic and foreign markets.
Kitu wa bodi akiwa sio mwadilifu, maana yake ni kwamba atakuwa aidha anaiba au mali za bia.
If a body chair is not ethical, he could be stealing, meaning company assets will go missing or go to his pocket or those of his friends.
Fungua kituo rasmi kinachoitwa Tanzania
is to open Tanzania Business Development Center to prepare businessmen and women and leaders for Tanzania.
Kwa ajili ya taifa la Tanzania.
And that is the end of the business news. Sports comes next after the break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lind.
And in sports, Tanzania winger Simon Msuva has reportedly signed for Moroccan giants Wydad Casablanca for 4 years, joining from Difaa El Jadida. Here's the report.
His contract with Difaa El Jadida is understood to have ended, and that paved the way for him to negotiate the Wydad Casablanca move that is yet to be confirmed by either party. Msuva is currently with the Tanzania national team in Turkey, preparing to tackle Tunisia in an African Cup of Nations qualifier on November 13th. Given Captain Bona Samata is unlikely to be part of the squad that will face the Carthage Eagles, Msuva, being one of the big stars, is expected to lead the Taifa Stars, who are looking for a second win in the group.
Ronald Koeman is backing Antoine Griezmann to find consistent form for Barcelona, but will not rule out of bid to sign Memphis Depay. Here are more details.
French star Griezmann, a £106 million signing from Atletico Madrid last year, has struggled to impress on a regular basis alongside Lionel Messi at Camp Nou. The forward, who missed a penalty against Real Betis last week before scoring in Barca's 5-2 victory, has just 2 goals, 1 assist and 4 chances created to his name in 7 La Liga appearances this season. Koeman thinks the 29-year-old is bound to hit top gear, though, as long as he maintains his strong work ethic.
Dani Carvajal has backed Zinedine Zidane amid talk of crisis at Real Madrid, insisting the squad are with the current Blancos boss to the death. Here's more.
Madrid have endured a slow start to the 2020-2021 campaign, which has led to questions over Zidane's position in the Santiago Bernabeu hot seat. The Frenchman has watched his side slip to 4th in La Liga after 8 fixtures and has only seen them pick up 4 points from a possible 9 in the Champions League group. The Blancos suffered their second domestic defeat of the season at the hands of Valencia on Sunday, with several players guilty of allowing their standards to drop during a 4-1 thrashing at Mestalla.
Marc-Andre ter Stegen is desperate for more trophies after committing his future to Barcelona by signing a new contract. Here's the story.
The Catalans announced last month that Ter Stegen, Gerard Piqué, Frankie de Jong and Clement Lenglet had all agreed to extensions. The Germany goalkeeper's new deal runs until 2025 and contains a release clause of £444 million. Ter Stegen, who returned to action this month after a knee injury, has been one of Barca's few major transfer success stories in recent seasons.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. Thank you for watching and good night.
Chats, an interactive talk show on various trending issues, live on our social media platforms, on YouTube, Capital TV, on